Hello, classic rock fans. I am reporting live after the Kiss end of the road tour stop at the American Family Insurance Amphitheater here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. This is the second Milwaukee show on their end of the road tour. The first was a couple of years ago at the Pfizer Forum, and I didn't get a chance to see that. This is actually my first time ever seeing Kiss, and I'll get into it, but I'll say up front, I was not disappointed. This was really fun. So the anticipation for this show has been driving me nuts for a couple of years now, because this show was actually rescheduled a couple of times. It was originally scheduled back in spring of 2020, and I bought my ticket a couple of months before that, so probably in 2019. So COVID hits in March 2020, and this tour, along with so many others, got postponed. It got rescheduled for sometime last year, and then COVID strikes again. First, Gene Simmons tested positive, but it looked like he was going to be in the clear for our show. But then Paul Stanley caught COVID, and my show and a couple of others had to get kicked out. Not just a couple of weeks, but like a full year, or almost a full year. So tonight, at long last, with tickets I purchased, I believe in late 2019, I'm finally able to see Kiss for my first time, and it was terrific. I really enjoyed myself tonight. Before we get into the actual show, I'll talk real briefly about their opener. David Garibaldi. He is a painter slash magician, one-man show type of thing. A very unique entertainer to select as the opening act. I guess I understand the appeal of doing something different and unique, but in my personal opinion, I thought it sucked. I was not impressed at all and not into it. I watched him paint his first portrait, which was all right for a while because he was blasting some Black Sabbath and Ozzy Osbourne. And, you know, he did this portrait, I think it was supposed to be of Ozzy. And that was all right. But then he brought out another canvas, and the music started playing, and it was Don't Stop Believing. And he said to the crowd, "Okay, I'm going to need you to sing along." And at that point, I was just like, okay, fuck this. I'm out of here. I was not digging it, so I went back to the concourse and just got a beer and waited it out. But, you know, I can admire them trying something a little different than having a less popular band than them just open the show. I get that that's a little old hat, and they probably really like this guy themselves. He probably comes cheap. But I don't understand what this does for the fans. The choice they made was an odd one, and I wish I could say I was on board with it, but I'm not. All right, all that aside, let's get to the show. They had these big curtains over the stage as the band came out, so you couldn't see them come on stage. And before the curtains dropped, Paul Stanley shouted, "You wanted the best, you got the best. We're the hottest band in the world, Kiss." And some might call that cheesy, but man, that absolutely set the tone perfectly, at least from my perspective. I thought it was a great note to open the show with. And sure enough, the opening couple of songs from them was really strong. Detroit Rock City, Shout It Out Loud, Cold Gin is pretty early. Like a number of really good songs right off the bat. And I was absolutely into it. The crowd was absolutely into it. My favorite era of Kiss is their 80s period. So songs like Heaven's on Fire, Lick It Up, Crazy Crazy Nights. I got my first two of those tonight, but not Crazy Nights, and that's fine. The pyro and video boards and, you know, Gene Simmons spitting blood and doing the flamethrower thing, all that stuff was fun. All the bells and whistles rang true, totally lived up to expectations. So I enjoyed that aspect of the show quite a bit. Near the end of the show, there was a B stage out in the middle of the audience, and Paul Stanley, like, almost I guess, yeah, he ziplined out to that B stage, played 2 songs off of that, which was absolutely great, and then he ziplined back. I think the only odd aspect of the main set was they closed the set with Black Diamond. And maybe just because that song doesn't get any radio play where I live, and it's Eric Singer, their drummer, who does vocals for it. I thought that was an odd pick to close the main set. Typically, main sets close with one of the biggest hits. So I just kind of thought that was a weird selection, but not a bad one. I enjoyed the song. But when they came back for the encore and their final song of the night, I Want to Rock and Roll All Night and Party Every Day, I've heard that song a million times. There was a period of time where that song was so overplayed on the classic rock channel in my city that I kind of stopped liking it because they leaned so heavy on it and they didn't play anything else from Kiss. But much like when I saw Journey a month or 2 ago and they started playing Don't Stop Believing, when Kiss lit up I Want to Rock and Roll All Night and Party Every Day, that was so much fun to sing along with the rest of the crowd too. They also blew out so many streamers and confetti. Oh yeah, streamers. So much of it. It was crazy. And it felt just like a really fun way to end the show, a really positive note to go out on. I don't know if this is Kiss's true final appearance in Milwaukee. They opened a restaurant they have connections to at Potawatomi Casino here in town. They did that earlier today, so I don't know if they're going to be coming back in town for stuff with that.
Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons getting ready for Wednesday's groundbreaking at Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. The new restaurant, called Rockin' Brews, is part of a $100 million renovation project that will also add 1,800 new slot machines.
Rockin' Brews is really an institution all over the country now.
But if this was the final Kiss show, I am super happy I got a chance to go and see them. They lived up to the expectations. It was a lot of fun. I've read a lot online over the years about Paul's voice being in decline. I didn't notice that. I thought his voice was a little ragged when he talked to the crowd, because when he shouts, he emphasizes all the wrong words.
Got a question for you. Would it be okay if I stay out here for one more song?
He was definitely very enthusiastic, but he was so cheesy. At points, it almost sounded like he was doing like a rock and roll version of Baby Talk. I don't know. It's just, I like I said, this is the first time I've seen them. It was just a little off-putting because, I haven't seen them before, but whatever. I know they have a couple more U.S. tour dates, so if they're coming to your town, even if you've seen them before, absolutely go out and see them again. I know farewell tours used to be like a joke when the guys in the bands would be like in their 40s, but Paul and Gene have said they're going to be taking Kiss off the road. Not out of personality conflicts or anything like that, but for them, they're in their 70s and, the spirit is willing, but the body is old and tired. And they do so much stuff. They wear so much gear. And like I said, Paul was ziplining. Gene goes up on this riser all the way to the roof of the amphitheater, which was nuts. So did Eric Singer on drums. I mean, it was an out-and-out, really involved, impressive show on a physical level from those guys. So, you can see why they're being realistic with themselves about their own physical limitations. So, yeah, I believe them. I think this is probably their final big tour. So if they're coming to your town yet, you have a chance, buy the tickets. Go see them. You won't regret it. This is definitely a money's worth type of show. It's fun. There's going to be hits, and there's going to be plenty of pyro, confetti, and streamers. So if anything else, go for that. All right, the last thing I'll mention, and I think this will be the last time I bring this up in my concert reviews here, because I think this is going to be how it is going forward for the foreseeable future. There are no COVID restrictions tonight. Now, this is sort of an outdoor venue, so that was fine with me. I'm vaccinated, and we had a beautiful breeze coming through all night, so I didn't feel at risk at all. You know, if it's an outdoor venue, it's so low risk. But if you're still being precautious, you have to keep in mind that none of these venues, at least in Wisconsin, are checking vaccine cards or making anybody wear masks. Tonight, I think I saw 1 or 2 people wearing a mask. I just hope that people go to these shows and choose to wear a mask. You know, people just leave them alone about it. You know, just if they're being precautious, don't give them a hard time. You know, just let them be safe. Let them enjoy music with their comfort level. Because seeing the live music and enjoying these bands while we can, that's what's important. So I think that's the last time I'll bring up, you know, COVID restrictions, because I suspect for every show I see from here on out, there's not going to be any restrictions. Okay, that's it for me. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in here. If you're a fan of classic rock, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. Please find us on social media. Links are in the description below. And if you like classic rock, I don't know if you know this, but I host a podcast about classic rock, so you might want to check that out. All right. Otherwise, thanks again. Keep rocking.
We're always thrilled to be here.